Hey, what's up ladies and gentle tubers? My name is eveRide. I'm out here today in the beautiful badlands of southern Utah, standing on one of my favorite meditation cliffs. But today I wanted to show you a little bit about my motorcycle. This is the DRZ 400E. We call it the Black Widow. I wanted to show you some of the little mods that I've done to it, just kind of things that make every day a little bit easier, as well as show off some of the everyday carry things that I put on my motorcycle just in case things go wrong when I'm out here riding alone. So let's take a look. So this video, like many others on the channel, is meant to help new dual sport riders get enduro tested gear on a budget. I get asked about the gear on my motorcycle almost daily, so in this video I'll cover every Farkle on the bike with a short review and a chapter marker in the description for every single item so you can skip to the things that interest you the most. And like any one of my videos, if you have suggestions for me or other beginner dual sport riders, we'd love to hear them in the comments below. The Farkles, or functional sparkles, featured in this video are enduro-tested, budget-friendly products that I personally use and recommend. I've already done the research to find the lowest prices on this gear, and links to all of it are in the description below. You'll save some time shopping and help support the creation of this channel without spending an extra dime. All of the following products are on my beautiful 2000 DRZ 400E Black Widow, which was rebuilt from the ground up by my excellent friends Mr. Duffactor and Mr. Rohonek. However, not one of the items used in this video is DRZ specific, so everything I talk about can be used on any dual sport or enduro motorcycle to make your ride just a little bit better. With this kit and future additions from your suggestions, one of these days I will go out with nothing but water, a few snacks, and this setup, and see how it is to survive for a few days with only what's on the bike. If that sounds appealing to you, go ahead and hit that like button to let me know. So let's start out with one of my favorite new pieces of equipment, the RAM mount. This will hold your phone, tablet, GPS unit very firm, even in the roughest of terrain. For mine, I've stuck on a little bit of extra insurance with this dual lock, and invested in a case for my phone. The only time my phone has ever come out has been when these cables have flown up during a large drop or coming down from a wheelie. Since moving the mount away from the cables and installing the dual lock, it hasn't come off. The RAM mount would obviously be useless without a solid phone that seems to be tailor-made for adventure motorcycling. This is the Samsung Galaxy S5 Active. It's waterproof, dustproof, dirtproof, and can be dropped from 4 feet without being damaged. I've punished this phone multiple times at high speeds, and with this cheapo $6 case, it doesn't even have a scratch on it. It's got a great glove setting so you can use it with gloves, and it automatically adjusts screen brightness to high contrast maximum brightness so you can see perfectly even in direct sunlight. Other gadgets include a speedometer, fantastic 4K camera, flashlight, altimeter, compass, and many other apps that make adventuring just a little easier. I'll be putting up a more detailed review and useful app demonstration for this very phone soon that can be found in the description, but for now just know that I highly recommend it. Also up front is this inexpensive 12-volt trackside power adapter from Cycle Gear that powers all my goodies with a simple 12-volt USB plug. It draws power from a ridiculously inexpensive TMS battery which I snagged from Amazon.com for $25. So far it has worked perfectly, and I don't know how they even ship it for less than 25 bucks, but it works for me. I recently installed this Doubletake mirror, given to me by Nest Up Productions. As you can see, it uses the RAM mount interface, and I love that it's foldable and you can position it just about anywhere you want, but minor adjustments do require loosening and then retightening the thumb screw, so adjustments on the fly are kind of difficult. Some have said that these mirrors will slip out of place on bumpy terrain, but I tightened them up very snugly and they are solid as a rock. Up next is this little device that's so simple but so nice to have. It's called a helmet hook. And for those of us who are tired of our helmets smacking against the ground, especially for people who have low mirrors, this is a quick and easy insurance policy for your expensive helmet to prevent unnecessary damage. It works with D-ring or ratcheting strap helmets and tucks nicely out of the way when you're not using it. You can also lock your helmet with a small padlock or cable. Now there are a lot of essential parts on a motorcycle, but one thing that can make or break a day's ride is the seat. This is a Seat Concepts low seat available from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. I know many people who have chosen Seat Concepts over all other brands, not because the kit is less expensive, but simply because it's more comfortable. Seat Concepts will send you the foam and cover, and you cover your old seat pan and save a lot of money with a relatively simple install. I'll be totally honest here, I probably wouldn't ride motorcycles if it weren't for these seats on both my DRZ and KLR. They are a lifesaver. And now for kind of a goofy mod, but something that I love, it's my survival knife scabbard. I mounted this to my forward plastics to make it easily accessible. Why do I want fast access to a big knife? Because, no lie, I was attacked in the middle of the desert by a guy that was probably on bath salts. That's a story for another video, but the scabbard was mounted in the easiest way possible. In this outer case is a SOG or SOG multi-tool with a saw, regular blade, needle nose pliers, and a few other tools. Next to it, inside its sheath, is a Fisher Space Pen. The big knife is a Gerber LMF2, a top-rated survival knife. The knife itself is designed to allow a downed pilot to break through the glass or cut out the fuselage of an airplane, so if it's good enough for Air Force paramilitary rescue, it's good enough for me. The sheath has a built-in sharpener, and I've attached a bit of Swedish fire steel as a backup to my lighters and other parts of my EDC kit. Everything on this scabbard has been submitted to extremely harsh conditions and doesn't show a bit of rust or wear otherwise. It has never fallen off either. Now for the bag on the right side of the motorcycle, here's a Joby Flashlight with adjustable legs. It can be recharged with a standard mini USB cable from the 12-volt adapter on the bars. A slime pump that is powered the same way can be a lifesaver for about 10 bucks. Here's some spare shatterproof safety glasses in case something happens to my face shield, a hiker's tarp to make shelter, shade, or carry water, some Max earplugs, a backup flashlight, a backup strap for carrying out the bags if I had to, a 30-foot hank of 550 Paracord, and some bright orange duct tape. On the outside of the left-hand bag is my first aid kit. It's red and on the outside so that if I'm unconscious or really hurt and somebody finds me, they have a better chance of finding the kit. Inside is bandages, a lighter, first aid procedures, gauze, band-aids, scissors, and a few alcohol pads. I also need to add some iodine tablets, Pepto-Bismol tablets, and a few over-the-counter painkillers. In the other pockets is a toe strap, some JB Weld steel stick, which will work to seal a case, Vaseline-soaked lint tinder, and a lighter. In the main pocket is a tool roll wrapped in a one-armed bandit magnet holder, a light multi-tip screwdriver, channel locks, a wide crescent wrench, and a rag for keeping all the tools clean, the bolts in their spot, and to dampen vibrations from bouncing tools. The outside pocket has everything I need to fully utilize the Green Chile Adventure Gear soft rack, weighing in at less than a pound. There's ADV sushi, a static loop, 2 cams, a tension loop, and 2 runners. With this extremely lightweight and strong setup, I can carry just about anything within reason. This is a $15 Tusk rear fender bag from Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and it holds another toe strap, a spare brake and clutch lever, which I very highly recommend having, and the Tusk brand are only $6, a socket wrench, an assortment of extra nuts and bolts, and a few common sockets for my bike, along with registration and insurance. Side bags are really useful because I can put whatever I want on the top. For riding daily, it means I don't have anything crowding my space and keeps the weight down lower. These bags were only $13 each, and while they are no match for a good Wolfman setup, for somebody on a budget, they are water resistant and held on fine with a little Green Chile ADV sushi through some pretty gnarly stuff. Of anything on the bike, this is probably the most useless bling. This is a Tusk Billet aluminum gas cap for a Clark tank, because the Clark tank cap disintegrated. I liked the Clark tank, but the gas cap was garbage. I have heard that they use different gas caps now so the quality is much better, but I'm not sure. The grips on this bike are ProGrip 714s. They're a bit big and bulky compared to a thin dirt bike grip, but they feel great on the road, and once you get used to them, they're really great to take out the vibes. The reason why I picked these is I've heard excellent reviews from many dual sport forums. To protect my hands from brush and roost, these are Trackside HandGuards, available from Cycle Gear for about $50. And personally, I prefer these to the Tusk lever guards. They're just a little bit more flexible. Something that most new riders should understand is that these handguards help, but they don't always save your levers, but they will protect your hands from roost and bushes and trees and the like. This is an 18-watt CREE LED Headlight. I liked this mod so much I featured it in its own video. In short, it can be had for under 20 bucks and installs in minutes, and it makes a massive difference when riding at night. This sexy headlight is a TrailTech X2, and like the billet cap, this one is kind of more for show. When it comes to lighting up the night trail, it didn't seem too different from the stock light or the Baja Designs light, but you've got to admit it looks really good. Something I didn't like though is that they sell these clear plastic light protectors, but then warn you that using the protector will limit the effectiveness and life of the halogen bulb because they require some airflow. That's why I cut holes in mine. Knowing that would have been useful before I spent 15 bucks on the cover. Up front we have a Tusk Fender bag with a spare tube, tire pressure gauge, and 2 tire levers that are included with the bag to keep it rigid. You will need to notch your front fender if you want this bag to stay on like it should. My preferred tires are the Kenda K270 Dual Sport tire. This front tire has survived a few thousand miles on the old KLR 650 with hardly any wear, as you can see. So when the D606 was worn out on this motorcycle, I moved the tire from the KLR to the DRZ, and it's been great. These tires are much smoother on the road than the D606, but handle the hard-packed gravel, dirt, and rocks that I ride just as well. They're what I'd consider to be a true 50-50 tire, with good manners in all terrains from tarmac to sand. In this terrain with my style of riding, they've lasted considerably longer than the D606, and for about half the price at less than 50 bucks per tire. The rear tire will wear faster than the front due to hard rear braking, sliding, and breaking loose at hard acceleration. However, I've never been left wanting for traction, even now where this tire is about 25%. This is the FMF Powercore 4 exhaust, which came with the bike when I bought it used, and I have to admit, it just sounds great. Down below are these massive Warp9 Footpegs that I call aircraft carriers. This day's ride was my first experience with them, but I can already tell they make a big difference in reducing fatigue, improving control, and fit just like stock, so there's no need to move levers around. However, they obviously stick out a bit more, so I do take it slower in tight ruts and rocky areas. One absolutely essential mod for DRZ owners are case savers or engine armor. In my opinion, these are overpriced at about 25 bucks for what they are, but a steal for what they do. Case savers have saved my cases several times on both sides and are one of the first things new DRZ owners should purchase. Cases are relatively weak and can be punctured fairly easily by the brake or shift levers. These aluminum case savers will install with just some silicone adhesive and are well worth the money just in the insurance alone. For my drive, I've got a Renthal sprocket in the back, a Renthal chain, and a primary drive front sprocket from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. The weight difference between this heavy sprocket and the sprockets that cost a lot more but weigh very little less doesn't make it worth it to me. This sprocket was under 10 bucks and I'm totally happy with it. All of these beautiful black plastics are from Acerbis and have held up very nicely. When I bought this bike, it had a Baja Designs lighting and street legal kit since it's the E model, but I did replace the rear blinkers with these little things from Amazon. As you can see, the quality was so-so, but they're out of the way and they still work, and for 8 bucks, well, I'd probably spend a bit more and get something that lasts better. So ladies and gentle-tubers, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've found some great deals on some Farkles and found these tips to be useful. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button and make sure to hit subscribe if you're interested in more videos like this. If you have suggestions or questions, please leave a comment. And if you're in the mood for more right now, go ahead and click the video to the right to see my entire apparel setup. From boots to helmets to armor, jackets, all of it came in at under $350, so if you liked this video, you'll want to check that one out as well. Much love guys, eveRide out.